Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Dimma Anneke, and thank you for joining me once again. Today I'm going to show you how to cut 360 peplum flay. So this is like 1 yard, so let's measure it together. So I don't know how many yards. Okay, this is up to 1.5 yards. So how to cut your 360 flay? You have to fold your fabric into 4. So, and the flay that I want to cut out is have 13 inches. Okay, 13.5 inches. So from here I'm going to increase all the length. So, and I'm going to remeasure. Always make sure of that every side are equal. So I have folded my fabric into 2. Then I'm going to fold it again, making it to be 4 in number, or making it to be folded into 4. So this is a freehand tutorial. So when you have folded your fabric like this, just like this, the next step is to get your round waist measurement. And the round waist measurement that I'm using for this tutorial is 32. And since you are cutting a circle, since you are cutting a round circle, know that half of this, like this angle, is 90 degrees. 90 degrees times 2, only this one is 180. Then 180 times 2 will give you 360. So this is a 360 degree flay, and not 720 or 1008, or so this is 360 degree flay. And how do you get your radius? Remember, if you want to get your radius, I think radius is 3.14 times 2. Yeah, times 2, why the diameter, depending on the one that you want. So if you times it, you will have 6.24. so if your waist is 32, all you have to do is 32 divided by 6.24, which will give you 5.12. Remember, there is no allowance on this. So let's add allowance to our flay, our upper bodies, or the upper parts that we are going to join it with. So the basic body measurement of my client is 32. This is a stretchy material, and I don't have to add any inches, but I'm going to add +2, which will make it to be 34. So 34 divided by 6.24, which will give me 34 divided by 6.24 will give me 5.4. So 5.45, so approximately 5.5. So we are working with the circle of 5.5. So what I'm going to do is to mark out 5.5 here So this is 5.5, and from here I will make sure that this, okay, this is exactly 8. Guys, can you see? So I'm going to add my half inch. So if I add half inch here, I will not have extra for folding at the down part. So I'm going to lose this and start afresh. Make sure that the length, the two ends are equal. So I hope you guys understand on how to cut your 360-degree fillet. Once you fold your fabric into 4, is a 360. Then after folding, if you want to double your fillet, you can add another 360 or another 180-degree fillet. So since we have measured the circumference, the radius of the fillet of the circle, all we have to do, remember that what we are going to cut out to get the accurate measurements of the waist plus seam allowance is 5.5. So I'm going to place my tape here, mark out 5.5, then measure if this is okay. This is 8 plus the folding, which will be 9 inches. So I now have 9 inches. So I'm going to measure from here to this end, which is 14.5. So I'm going to make sure if I have 14.5 at this side. This is very important, because sometimes when you want to measure, you have to check if this side is also equal to this side. Sometimes you will have a very balanced you have enough fabric on this side, you will not have enough fabric on this side. So it's better for you to check this and this before cutting or measuring, so that you will place everything right. So since I have 14.5 here, I have enough to fold. So what I'm going to do, since here is 14.5, I'm going to place this here, mark out 14.5. So I'm going to hold this exactly like this and rotate my tape. So I'm going to be rotating my tape like this to make sure I get the accurate measurement. So 14.5, 14.5. So the end exactly at that 14 that I measured. So my circumference is correct. So I'm going to connect all these dotted lines that I marked out. Remember that when you subtract your 5.5 inch here and you have 8, so I added my folding allowance, so you guys can see. So I added my folding allowance, which is 1 inches here. So after adding my sewing allowance or my folding allowance, I then measured where that stopped from there to the end of this, which gave me 14.5, and I used that 14.5 to measure all these circles, to measure all these dots. So I used it to measure all these, all of them 14, they are equal. So I didn't use any more than that 14.5. So, and always make sure that here this side is equal to this side or more than this side, because you can easily add your inches, but you cannot add any extra fabric here. So since I have gotten my round circle, I'm going to connect the dotted lines. Always be very careful at this point. So So since I have connected the circle here, remember that I said that this angle is 90-degree angle. So the next step that we are going to do, remember the cutout here for the waist, which gave us 5.5. So I'm going to place my tape and mark out 5.5 using the same method that I used at the other circle. So 5.5 all the way, 5.5. So 5.5. I'm going to connect So after connecting our 360 flay or our 360 peplum top or circle flay is done, all you have to do here is to add your 1/2 inch seam allowance, because you have added your 1 inch here which you didn't add. So you have to add your 1 inch, your 1/2 inch here for your seam allowance. Always remember your seam allowance, because if you don't, the length of your flay will get shortened. So I'm going to add 1/2 inch all through my mark out line. So I am not going to start cutting from here. I'm going to start cutting from that my seam allowance. So remember, if you are cutting, bring a sharper scissors that will help you get the roundness of what you are looking for. So do you see how neat the circle is? So I'm going to cut the other. So I'm going to show you guys how the circle looks like. So this is now your 360-degree flay. So this, do you see, there is no opening, of any kind or any joining. So this now becomes your 360-degree flay at the waist. Remember, we added 2 inches. So once you can also, if you have extra inches, since we added extra inches to this, you can as well fold it or give it another type of design at the front, so that you have a perfect look. So if you enjoy this tutorial, and I always tell anybody that wants to learn, to notch is very, very important for you to notch, so that you will know. It's very, 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 very important. Notch, but when notching, notch so I'm notching at the 4 ends. So this now becomes your 360 flay. So guys, do you see how full the flay is? So that's how to cut your 360-degree flay. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and then drop your comments if you have any questions. So see you guys in my next video. Bye.